Well, it's a continuation from the previous video I uploaded, and this video is 10 tips on how to survive your NICU journey. It'll take more than 10 tips to help you, but these are the 10 I feel like help me out, and I'm gonna just get straight into it. Tip number 1, don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to vent. Don't be afraid to want to vent. What you're going through, or someone that you know is going through, it is a lot. Like, to see your baby so helpless, and like Leah was basically transparent. I could see her ribs, because she was still what a baby looked like in the womb. So to see that close to you it's overwhelming. So don't be afraid to cry. If you cry don't cry every day. Let's not be a pussy, but it's okay to be overwhelmed. It's a lot. It's motherhood. And you could also be suffering from postpartum depression. Talk to your doctor, talk to somebody, because I suffer from postpartum depression, and I didn't realize it until one day it hit me, and I was like, wait, something's not normal. And I spoke with my doctor about it. So like I said, don't be afraid to cry. Everyone's journey isn't the same, and that's okay. Talk to people who's going through it. Everyone is there. I actually knew other girl from my city who, her son and Leah are like a month apart, and her and I actually, over time we became friends, because it was like, if I needed to know something, I would inbox her and vice versa. So, like I said, everyone's situation isn't the same. I have a nephew who's preemie, and him and Leah don't get along for some reason. I don't know why they don't get along, but like, when I tell my sister-in-law things about what Leah went through, she looking at me like with wide eyes, because she didn't go through that. So like, we had two different journeys. Leah went through it. Leah was still underweight for preemie. Her lungs were all the way developed. Like, she went through it. So, and to see her be so active now and animated and talk is a big blessing, because like I said, we know what we went through, her and I. At the time when I was going through all of that, I just had my mom and my sister, and I'm very, very grateful for their help. But at the end of the day, I didn't make Leah with them. I made Leah with a man who wasn't no longer present in the picture because of things, or whatever. But if I would have had that help from him, because that's our creation. But like I said, it is what it is. But it goes back to, like, everyone's situation is different. Everyone may need a different kind of support. Even though I didn't have that support from him, I still got through my situation with the support I had. Like I said, talk to people, women in the NICU, communicate with them. There was this lady who, they were white, and they were across. She had a son. I'm not gonna, say his name, because I don't have her permission to say his name, but him and Leah were like a month apart. Leah's actually older than him, and in the NICU, they, like, doctors classify white boys as the weakest, so they refer to them in the NICU as wimpy white boys, and little black girls are the strongest. So even though Leah was going through what she was going through, her health was still better than his, and he went through it. Like, I thought I had it bad. She had it, like, she was always at the emergency room, because we're Facebook friends, so she was always at the doctor, and I was like, oh my God. And she already had like multiple children already. So, but like I said, our situation was different. We were in the same situation, but like I said, she went through it with him in ways that I didn't go through, and vice versa. But like I said, vent, talk. If you want to write it out, if you have to find you a hobby to get through it. Tip number 2, be prepared to see the real in people. People that I thought would have contacted me and would have been there for me weren't. To be honest, I had one friend that visited Leah in the hospital, and that's my childhood friend, Kenneth. He came visit, and that was the only friend that came visit. I would go to the NICU. If I didn't go with my mom and my sister, I went to the NICU by myself. It was to the point I was going to the NICU every day. And if I didn't go, I felt so bad. But at the time I had Leah, maybe like a week or two, an anonymous football player donated a whole bunch of money to the NICU, and they started this camera thing where you could, like an app, and you could watch baby from your phone, which came in handy so much because like sometimes the weather was bad and I couldn't go. I was just like too tired to go. And coming to find out, Drew Brees was actually the NFL player who donated the money, because like a couple of days after Leo was discharged, he made a trip to the NICU. But it's gonna be an eye opener, like who's gonna be there for you, family included as well. That definitely was an eye opener. No shade, no tea, but it was definitely like wow, you know. So tip 3, you have to be prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally. It is a roller coaster. It was, and it still is a roller coaster, but it was a roller coaster. Some days I walk in the NICU and Leah was like, her belly was so big because she was taking in so much air, and then they would have to stop her feeding. Then her weight would go down. Like Leah weight fluctuated so much. At birth she was like 1 pound, 12 ounces, and some days she was like almost down to like not even a pound. Like it was just so scary. And then like years ago you used to have to be like 4 pounds to be discharged from the NICU, but now you have to be able to, like, you have to go through these steps, like be able to swallow, breathe, and suck. And she struggled, like, didn't just one day she just started doing everything, but she would just like stop breathing in the middle of a feeding. Like it was a lot. Like I used to wake up, jump up, go to the NICU, and the NICU was probably like 30 minutes from where I live. I would leave from the NICU lightheaded and hungry, but I would stay with my baby all day because, you know, I went into the hospital pregnant and I left not pregnant but without my baby. So like I would just stay there all day. It didn't even matter how hungry I was. I would just get up and go to the NICU to see her. But like I had to like really like prepare myself because it was a lot. Tip number 4, it's okay to want to talk about your baby. If you feel like you talk about your baby too much, oh well, either they listen or they don't. But like I said, they can't relate to what you're going through. What you're going through is something very serious. Things can happen so fast, trust me. So if you want to talk about your baby. Tip 5, don't be afraid to ask your doctors and your nurses and other moms and other parents in general questions. The more you know, the better. You know, you're not going to understand everything, but it's good to know what you know, because when you go home, those doctors and those nurses aren't there. And, you know, at the time, I wasn't working. I was working from home. So once my mom went back to work, it was just me home by myself. And even when Leah came home, I stayed to my mom's house for like the time because she came home on oxygen. I stayed home, but once we were home, you know, by ourselves, it was just her and I. So the more you know, the better, and the more you're gonna be comfortable to be home with your baby. And that goes to tip number 6: educate yourself, because the doctors won't tell you everything. As good as Lafayette General was, I was surprised that they didn't tell me a lot of things. Just, you know, like PREEMIE, once they get out of, like, day 1, Leah came home, she was good. We were like, okay, we can get used to this. Day 2, she, like, Leah would cry for like 12 hours. Once she was irritated, she would just cry, and you could drop a cotton ball on the bed and she was up. Like, we would have to tiptoe around the house because she was such a light sleeper, and she cried. It sounded like a cat when she cried. That's how soft she cried. So I had to educate myself on those things and educate the people that's around you so they can know as well. You know, like basically educate your support system. And tip number 7, I'm sorry, prepare yourself for the worst, because things do get ugly in the NICU. It can be a moment where you just like, what the hell? So, you know, be prepared for the worst, but don't just expect the worst, you know, because eventually it will get better. But tip number 8, have a support system, because you're gonna need a support system. It's hard, you know. My sister and I were pregnant at the same time. We were 6 weeks pregnant, and my niece was supposed to be older, but Leah came 6 weeks early, so they're still 6 weeks apart. So like, it was hard to like see my sister with her baby, and I didn't have my baby. I had to like go visit her or like watch her on the phone. So like having a support system, you know, just like having like your friends or your mom or whoever, you know, your child's father, if that person is in the picture, just have your support system there, because like I said, it's a lot emotionally. Tip number 9, educate yourself more. When it's time to come home, and like educate yourself, know your doctors. It's just like so much of stuff you're gonna need to know. Like Leah had acid reflux. She came home on oxygen. Like, it's a lot of stuff that you just need to know, you know. And the last tip is tip number 10. Be your own support system. I know I said have a support system, but sometimes you have to be your own support system. Sometimes I have to be my own support system. You know, not all the time my mom was able to take us to the doctor. You know, Leah had a lung doctor. He was located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So not, you know, she would take us to those visits, but like if we had visits in town, you know, she couldn't always make it. So I was with the oxygen tank on my back and the apnea monitor under my arm, going to the store, or you know, this and that. So you have to be your own support system sometimes, which sucks, yeah, but all it's gonna do is make you a stronger mother and a stronger person. And that is it for the tips. I hope they help you guys. I hope if you know someone who's going through this situation, I hope that you send them this link, send them this video, and you know, just keep pushing. If you're a preemie mom, it's tough, trust me, I know, but it will get better. Trust me, it has to get better. Like, you're going through this for a reason. You have a story to tell, and you have to tell your little one this story. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit the subscribe button to stay, you know, updated on more videos, and have a good night.